Hello everyone, this is your Trichology practitioner, Leola Day, and what we're going to talk about today is actually one of the main causes of what some hairstylists or some things you may do at home that will actually take your hair out, and that is actually called traction alopecia. And so what traction alopecia does, it is a pulling of the hair, and it can start and just the hairline, and it can start receiving back. So when you're looking at different types of traction alopecia, can the hair grow back? It can, but it depends on how long you have had certain hairstyling that may cause a permanent damage to your hair. So you have to be very mindful. And traction alopecia is not just for women. There is traction alopecia that deals with men who wears their hair back into a ponytail a lot. So if you are a gentleman and you wear your hair in always back, as we may say in the man bun, over time that will cause traction alopecia due to the pulling of the hair in that position of a long period of time. Also, what causes a traction alopecia can be usually around the fringe or the hairline area. And another thing that will cause due to chronic traction, due to excessive rubber bands, also bobby pins is another example that can cause traction alopecia. Braiding the hair too tight can cause a traction alopecia. Also, one of the main things is the ponytails, especially we see that with a lot of children, to where the parents have to make sure that the rubber band is not so tight, so around the actual hair shaft of the child's hair, because too much of that pulling will receive the child's hairline due to the rubber band method that has been around that child's hairline for so long. So if you're going to wear ponytails, make sure it's not in a rubber band method. It needs to be a very cushion type of fabric that you can actually still have the rubber band, not the rubber band, but still have the ponytail, but having a cushion fabric. That way it's not so much. So imagine this, just do this example here. They'll let you know how you actually doing with the hair. Imagine putting the rubber band around your finger and you keep winding it around the finger. Eventually, over the seconds and the minutes of that hair, of that rubber band being around that hair, the actual tip of your finger will turn bluish purple, because what it's doing is lacking of the circulations of the blood. So if you ever did that, what would happen is the fingertip would turn blue or purple looking, and if you keep holding it, even if I hold my finger, pinch it really tight, over time what will happen is it would turn to a bluish purple look, because I'm lacking the circulations. So imagine that's exactly what you're doing to the hair. You pulling the hair so tight to where the actual bulb, you will actually see the bumps on the hairline. When you start seeing the bumps pop up, what happened is the actual bulb of the follicle is coming closer to the surface, and that's where people have the bumps come up onto their hair. That is the bulb, the actual bulb from that particular hair shaft is coming from the root, coming closer to the actual hair. So it's too tight if you start seeing the bumps happen. So what you have to do is loosen up the tension of the ponytail to where you doesn't see the bumps on the actual skin. Also using a fabric type of a band to where it does not cause tightness, because you can actually cut the hair shaft to where the band is, because again, the more you have wrapped around that hair follicle, it'll just snap it in two, or you'll have excess more shedding it doesn't mean, or breakage technically is the proper term instead of shedding, because it's on the surface that you see. So you'll see when you take that ponytail down of that child's hair, or even an adult, when you take that ponytail out, you will see excess shedding. And when you open the actual ponytail up, you'll have long hair, short hair, long hair, short hair, because the rubber band actually cause the circulation cutting off to that follicle. That's what happens. So you want to be very mindful of the hairstyling. Sewins are another method that can cause traction alopecia. Now, you can do these particular hairstyles. It's the techniques of it, the tension of it, what causes the traction alopecia. So it doesn't mean you can't get braids. It doesn't mean you can't get sew-ins. What happens is whoever does it has to make sure they're not putting so much tension onto the actual hair to where it causes the traction alopecia. Okay, so that's one of the main and biggest things of is that from traction alopecia is who does it, making sure that it's not so tight to where it causes the bulbs to come up. Okay, hope you guys make sense. If not, leave questions in the comments and I will reply back to those comments when you see this video. Okay, now, will the hairline grow back? That's another thing that a lot of patients ask. It can grow back, determines on when you come and see a practitioner and how long it's been going on. So it's just like someone that's trying to lose weight. You didn't put the weight on overnight, so it's not gonna grow, doesn't come off overnight. So the hair didn't come out overnight, so rejuvenate the hair back may take a little longer than it be expected. You have to be very patient when you're talking about hair growth. Okay, so there are hair regimens that you can actually do to get the hair to grow back. First of all, we have to shift the hairstyling or loose the tension of the hairstyling, which is what your stylists need to be doing anyway. Another thing is also looking at some type of ointments that we can put on the scalp to open up the hair follicle to where the pore is actually opening up to where the hair can come out of. Some good protein treatments are actually good for strengthening the hair. Those things right there will be the start of it. Outside of any blood work, but usually traction alopecia don't really have to have any blood work, because that's more mechanical than more of an internal, because the hair follicle is still alive. Okay, because of the pulling. So that was a mechanical thing what caused the traction alopecia to occur. So the blood work really wouldn't determine if you need traction alopecia. It's more of the styling. Okay, but you have to pinpoint to make sure that's what it is, because just because you have a receding hairline does not mean you have traction alopecia. A lot of times it could be other types of alopecia. So you have to see a practitioner just to make sure what type of alopecia that is causing the hairline to come out. Other types of alopecia that causes hairline to come out is actually telogen effluvian alopecia is hairline. So you have to see a practitioner to make sure to determine what type of to see if you have traction alopecia. Okay, so just to recap on some of the things of what traction alopecia is more of a pulling sensation. So you want to make sure that whatever is going on, you don't have a pulling sensation, because that does cause some traction alopecia, and that can come from ponytails. That can also come from wearing their hair back a lot with a clip. That can also be from tight braids. Also, it can come from tight sew-ins. It can easily come from crochets. So those things are very, very important. Okay, one of the other things that will cause, especially with children, is a lot of times scratching the actual dead skin off will cause some traction alopecia, because there's just certain shampoos that can get the dead skin off. Okay, scratching the dead skin off can also cause a traction alopecia. So I hope this video really helps you all on what causes us some type of traction alopecia, but to reassure is to actually come into a clinic, a trichology practitioner clinic, to kind of get to the root cause of why your hair is coming out around the hairline. Okay, so if you know you had traction alopecia, some things you have to just stop doing for the hairstyling and know how to do other alternate hairstyles, which is what a cosmetologist can help you with. If not, then we can definitely help you with it in our clinic. Okay, so follow me on my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Leola Day. And any question that you guys may have, feel free to contact me and with the email or even in the comments, and I can reply back. So hope you guys have a good evening or good morning or good afternoon, depends on where you're listening from. And so if you have any questions, let me know if there's any topic on type of alopecia that you want me to discuss. Just let me know and I can definitely do a topic on that. Okay, so you guys have a good day and I'll talk to you soon.